Welcome back to an episode of We Are in Mulandir, and we can talk to almost anyone in here. In the last episode I took my sweet ass time understanding who has the best abilities, and yeah, looks like Rohen will be our go-to survival, constitution, whatever, earthquake kind of channeler, if that works out, whatever. But yeah, he's basically just going to hit the enemy with auto, and every now and then he's going to use the heal ability. Kind of like a paladin, really. So, and we are going to have a little talk with everyone in here. Or at least, to begin with, I should try to defeat this golem up here. The only problem is this thing has an awful lot of health regeneration. And the only thing I can really do is, yeah, summon... Where's this thing? I can't see it. Sometimes you... this thing gets visible, and sometimes it just completely disappears, but okay. Maybe I can get to it very, very quickly by just opening up a portal. It's also kind of strange that I entered this area in here, and then all of a sudden... let's go for defense. And then all of a sudden the hero is in front of the Nexus for no apparent reason. Okay, wait. This thing usually goes... There we go, in circles. This thing does smash... Oh no. Smash and dead damage. I'm pretty resistant to the dead damage part, but... Yeah, this thing is, well, pretty much immune to the rest. What I can do is just... Oh, that's so cheat.
Whatever's necessary.
If this thing hits me once, I'm pretty much screwed.
Understood.
The only thing I could do is maybe try bleed also. It just takes an awful lot of time. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
Damn it.
Oh, come on, that's cheating. Okay.
Understood.
No, it's faster. It's faster. It's faster. And I'm dead. Alright. So, looks like I cannot defeat the thing. Because, for some reason, undead are, well, kind of really nice fodder for the thing. It would have been too easy, almost. But yeah. Too bad you can't really use any other character. Yeah, if you click on them, the inventory opens, except for the main character that you can control somehow. Whatever. Let's talk to the Orc.
So, this is your place. Huh. Interesting. I like the architecture. It has grace.
Oh. Well, thank you.
You like it?
Yes, imagine an orc who isn't all about pikes and spikes. Anyway, you haven't gotten orcs to join your cause yet, so until then, there isn't much I can do for you. But I'll familiarize myself with the place in the meantime.
Interesting. This orc seems to have more human-like features than any other orc. Like, first of all, he stands straight, right? And the ears, like the whole head part, is basically human. The only thing that's different is maybe the facial expressions and, of course, the teeth. Huh. Alright. So this dude has something to sell.
Potions and scrolls? I'm sure I have just what you need.
Wow. Oh, cost reduction is pretty good. Only thing is I can only buy one item. Not cool. Okay. But this game actually gives you an opportunity to farm an awful lot of gold. There is an area in
Come
here...
Again. May the Guardians have mercy on your travels.
As I said, there is an area in here where there are spawners or summoners as enemies, and if you kill the creature that was summoned, then you also get experience. Not only, yeah, not just from defeating the summoners. So you can basically always kill the spawn and end up with an infinite amount of experience and, of course, loot. If it drops. So this dude is just a random arsonist, which cannot be controlled, by the way.
Well, well, Corporal. you didn't exaggerate. This place is beautiful. Thanks again for giving me this chance. So, let's talk about why you brought me here. I have spoken to some of your commanders, and I think my knowledge can help you. I will need some coin to cover the materials, but it will be affordable. Just let me know if you need anything.
Alright.
Yes, yes?
Let me take a look at your designs.
Of course. Take all the time you need.
Interesting. Building speed enables you to improve the human armored watchtower building by enhancing its construction speed. Wow. Wow. Cost reduction, everything is a cost reduction. That is pretty amazing. Okay. I wasn't really looking into him, but okay, he must be the orc dude. So there may as well be an elven architect somewhere. Who knows?
Finally out of this blasted city. What a mess.
How are you settling in?
Well, I'm still trying to get used to the idea that I'll be working in an old shape of ruin from now on. Either way, I promised you my help, and here I am. Give me some material and some coin, and I promise you that I'll fabricate the finest weapons and armors you have ever seen.
Good. I'm looking forward to it.
And another
what can
trader,
I do
perfect.
for you today?
I want to equip the Wayfarers. What?
I want to equip the Wayfarers.
I had hoped as much. What do you need?
Hey, you're an adventurer, aren't you? Come take a look. I'm
Looks
sure
more
I've
like a
got something
bandit
that
to
might
me.
Spark your interest.
More cost reduction and reinforcements, kind of like the same. Touch Shield of Hardening on block, get armored for 5 seconds. That's a pretty nice one. And the cannot be stunned one is also pretty sweet. Applies armor to all allies around you for 5 seconds. That's the Extinguishing Shield, immunity to fire. Now this is amazing. If you get more immunity to other elements, then that would be amazing. Only problem is this one does not provide any any resistances to physical stuff, so you're kind of on your own with these. But this is amazing that you can actually get stuff like that. 100% immunity. That is so cheap. That's absolute cheap. Also, I think they put the buildings here after you unlock the characters. So somehow they are able to just create their own housing. And this dude, yeah, except for this guy. The orc just sleeps on the sky, basically. Okay, do we have... Let's just open the map real quick. Usually you do see, like, dots and stuff. Okay. We just have this guy here, Rohen. Yes. Talk to Rohen in Mulandir for the greater good. That is another one. What's the other one? The world within. That's Undergast. Talk to Undergast in Mulandir. Okay, Mulandir. Then we have the path to Mulandir, Prin Goblin. Ah, okay. But yeah, both of these are side missions. So, who is this guy? Commander Flynn.
Now look at that. The fabled Corporal. Good to finally meet you in person. I'm Flynn, second in command of the Wayfarers. I have to say, for someone who only led a puny Northander division once, you're doing quite a good job leading an army so far. Not of them saying I couldn't do better, but still.
Well, I still don't really have the army.
Anyway, if you come to arm our men, I strongly suggest you do so.
But you're armed already, aren't you?
Well, yes, with rusty swords and dented armors. I mean with proper equipment. If you give me the coin, I'll send out orders to my contacts in Everlight. It'll improve our strike force significantly.
I want to buy some better equipment.
I want to buy some better equipment for the Wayfarers.
Music to my ears. What did you have in mind?
Okay, so there are actually multiple dialogue choices here. And this stuff again. Some of it has been unlocked already, which is pretty interesting. So, let's tell me more about you.
Can you tell me more about you? Rohen seems to think highly of you.
As he should. What do you want to know?
I want to ask something else. Nope. What's your job?
So, what's your job in the Wayfarers?
Well, Let's just say that I know a great deal of people, and I can also handle myself in a fight.
What did you do before the Wayfarers?
What did you do before the Wayfarers were formed?
Depends on how far before we're talking. I did some jobs here and there and then joined the military.
Some jobs.
Some jobs. So you were a baker? A bard?
Very funny. I was a mercenary.
And then you joined the Royal Army?
Yes, I was even part of the Wolf Guard for a year or so.
Really? How come we never met?
Because that was way before your time. I know I don't look it, but I'm quite some years ahead of you, Tahar. I served under General Noria, under Sentenza, before that disaster at the Iskander Fortress.
How come you left?
Well, there were a couple of reasons. In a nutshell, I didn't agree with some of the things Sentenza made us do. So I deserted, just like you. Anyway, after I left, I went back into the mercenary business for a while. Then the Mage War broke out, things went to shit, and I went into hiding. Finally, a year ago, I met Rohen, and he told me about his idea. I immediately agreed. Doing good while not being bound to uniforms, orders, and morning drills was something I'd always wanted to do. I simply didn't expect anyone else to share that vision.
Very interesting. Look at his face. He really looks like the orc.
That's all for now.
Will do, Tahar. And don't forget, fortune favors the man with the crossbow.
Will do. Understood.
That is amazing. Alright, maybe I can talk to these two and get a little bit of additional dialogue out of them. Was it this guy maybe?
Yes.
No.
Let me take a look at your designs.
Of course. Take all the time you need.
Okay, maybe it's this
What can I
guy.
do for you today?
There we go. Tell me more about House Hallett.
So, you're from the Windwall Mountains. How is the situation there at the moment?
A bit of a mess since the rebellion. Reynold Hallett, House Hallett's former leader, fell in the Battle of Greykeep. And now his younger brother Wayland is running the country.
You don't sound too happy about that.
Well, word has it he's too emotional and too inexperienced, and from what I've seen, the rumors are true. He cares more about old family feuds, such as the one between House Hallett and House Wolfguard, rather than the well-being of their lands. But I guess there isn't much we can do about it.
I'll be
Interesting.
off. Thanks for your help, Hegard.
Sure. May Nihalf guide your blade.
Good. Oh, wait. There is one Vilron.
Yes.
There's one other trader. How do I get down there quick? Wait a minute. So, let's take this one. And Vilron was
What do we need?
fairly
Now, would
close
you look
to
at that.
that one over here. And I think... yeah, it was over here already. Damn it. There sadly is no other teleporter that's closer. Ah, come on. You can't do that to me. You can't do that to me. Okay. Oh!
Ellen's Reigns. What a journey. But I must admit, this city is a marvel. Such beauty. It almost makes me forget the reason I'm here.
Are you still, heartbroken?
I shall forever be heartbroken. But none of that matters anymore. If the fire in her heart does not burn as brightly for me as mine does for her, then so be it. Tell me, do you mind if I stick around for a while longer? Iskander isn't safe these days, especially not for a vagabond elf, and there's no way on Io I'm going back into that accursed city. Even if the darkest alleys of Everlight carry her flowery scent, even the most mischievous of voices whisper her lovely words, even...
Yeah.
Yes, you can stay. Maybe you could even help us out with your skills.
Yeah, and this is our elven architect salesperson.
Of course, though there aren't many elves around yet that I could help, don't you think?
That will change. Just set up your forge around here somewhere.
I will. Goodbye, Tahar. And thank you again for being there when my heart needed mending. Yes, yes? Have you come to see the fruits of my labor?
Ooh. For some reason, this dude has pretty decent defenses. Enchanted heavy plate armor. Wait a minute. Don't I have... Yeah, a pretty overpowered thing. 45. 48. So, in terms of flat defenses, this one is better. Except for magical resistance. But okay. What else we got? I'm looking for something that also has a little bit of a unique attribute on it though. But okay, this is Elven reinforcements. Same stuff that all the others have as well. So there is not that much new stuff.
Bless your path.
Not that much new stuff. So, any other NPCs around? Like, does not look like it. Okay.
Let's see.
Ooh, wait a minute. Looks like you can interact with one of those pillars now. The obelisk emits magic like a bonfire. Emits warmth. Whatever its purpose, it must have been pivotal to the city. What if this thing is like an elevator and it can fly? Well, an elevator doesn't fly, but one gets the idea. Let's have a quick talk with Rohen real quick.
Interesting.
Ah, Tahar.
Seems your men have made themselves comfortable.
Yeah, they have. But blazes, Tahar. I know I've said it before, but this place is incredible. It's also a very good base of operations. Should we make enemies, and I hope it doesn't come to that, we're well prepared. But I'm guessing that's not what you came here for. You want to talk, right? About what I did 8 years ago?
Why did you betray me? Do you actually I don't. The past is the past.
Actually, I don't. The past is the past.
You... well, I'm not sure how to feel about this. Are you sure we shouldn't... I don't know, get this out of the way?
If you think it's necessary, fine.
If you think it's necessary, fine.
Let's see.
Why did you do it? Why did you tell my father about my plan?
Well, this is an awful lot of emotion all of a sudden.
Well, what do you want me to say? I did it because back then, I still believed in your father's vision. What you, Zane, and Helena were going to do, it just seemed, I don't know, wrong. But that doesn't mean it was an easy decision. Also, I didn't think he'd execute you. Probably naive, I know, but it's the truth. You see, I joined Isamo because there was truth in his words. The masks, the pikes, all that hatred against us defilers that the purity of light is spreading now. It was all already there. The people always feared us, simply because we were different. Because we are better than they. Your father, he knew something like that would happen eventually. So he stood up and tried to stop it before it was too late. At least that's what he said. And to be honest, I still don't know if he only lost that vision, or had never had it to begin with.
The hatred was always there?
I can't
What?
believe you're saying this. The reason the people hate us mages now is because of what my father did. He confirmed their fears for them by starting this goddamn war.
Oh, really? And what about all that shit that happened beforehand? The witch burnings, mages driven out of the cities, gifted children abandoned by their mothers.
Did you just say because we were better?
Well, in this case, they are capable of more.
Yes, better. How else should I say it? We cast fire from our hands, heal wounds with a mere thought, so how would you call it? I call it superior, and the ungifted know it as well as we do. But does that mean that we want to kill them? No. We're not animals, we're people, just like they are. Only that we are the lions and they are the cats. We didn't choose to be that way, but it's what nature chose for us.
Interesting.
I don't know. But to me, it sounds like you're still trying to justify what you did in that war.
Well, it doesn't really matter. At the moment, he did the decision, and I think he would do it again.
That's where you're wrong. It's not all black and white, Tahar. And you of all people should know that. I know I made mistakes. and I've spent the past 7 years making amends. What else do you think the Wayfarers are for? Why else would I have left? And look, I do not expect you to forgive me. I don't even know if I could do it if I were in your position.
Do you know anything about the Godstones?
I remember that back in the Rebellion, ancient relics such as the Godstones were your speciality. Is there anything interesting you could tell me about them?
Interesting? That depends on what you mean by that. I mean, it goes without saying that what this rune allows us to do is beyond fascinating. Apart from that, I could only tell you the things you already know. How both the Hibernians and Shapers worshipped them and harnessed their magic. But that's about it.
How did you end up founding the Wayfarers?
So, regarding the Wayfarers, you said that you founded them to make amends. Is that true? And if yes, how did you found them?
Yes, otherwise I wouldn't have said it.
As to how I formed them, it's a long story. And maybe one we should save for later.
I want to talk about my father.
I want to talk about my father.
I figured you'd want to eventually. What is it you want to know?
Was he really insane?
Do you think it's true? That he was simply crazy?
Towards the end, yes. He had certainly lost his sanity. But before that, I still don't know. I've said it before, but there's one part of me that likes to think he was a madman to begin with. And then there's the other voice that tells me that he was merely a visionary who had lost his way. But if there's one thing I know, it's that he was a leader. Whenever he spoke to us, it was electric. To this day, I've never seen someone with his charisma.
You sound almost nostalgic.
Nostalgic? No. It's just... I've never met someone with that energy. You have some of it, Tahar. I only started to realize that here. But most of it is still asleep.
Are he and I alike?
This might sound strange, but... do you see any resemblance? Between him and me?
Interesting that you ask. Yes, there were moments where I could not help but notice that certain... something that strongly reminds me of your father.
Could you be a bit more specific?
It's the nose.
Well, I think that the best way to describe it is a sort of look in your eyes. It's somehow distant, but at the same time driven and intense. And it can be both intimidating and charismatic. I believe that it's this energy that helped your father rally the noble houses and all these mages behind him. And ironic as it may be, it might help you with our cause too.
And what was he like before the war?
My father never told me how he grew up. Do you know anything about that?
About his childhood? I'm afraid not. He shared some fragments of his past with me, but probably no more than he shared with you.
Alright, let's ask him
Let's
something
discuss
else.
something else.
And
I'll
that's
be
pretty
off.
much it. Alright, so yeah, we can actually access some of their dialogue, which then
What's next?
changes depending on our status in the mission. So there we go,
Yes.
Undergast. How many teammates can we actually have? Let's hope it's not too many, because then I'm just running all around Mulandir and talking to people. Alright.
I must say, I am impressed.
With Mulandir? Yes. It's quite a sight. I still can't believe we're the first ones who found this place.
It seems unlikely, yes, but yet it happened. Isgrimm, the dwarf, told me about it. He said that the rock illusion shielding the entrance vanished as soon as you spoke the words, and that it did
Illusion?
not react to Isgrimm himself.
Illusion, meaning that you can just waltz through it.
Tell me, Tahar, what do you make of that?
It might have been coincidence. Maybe I'm connected to this place.
Maybe I'm connected to this place.
But how? I know there is more to you than meets the eye. Something about you is different, although I cannot say what it is.
Well, if we are connected to the place and the place belonged to some people, then maybe we have a connection to those people.
I believe we stand on the verge of a change. Things have happened, Tahar. Things, the extent of which we have not even come close to comprehending. And they have set something in motion.
How do you know?
How do you know this? Are you some kind of medium?
A medium? No, quite the opposite. I'm an observer. As you have undoubtedly noticed, I lack the, let us call it emotional intensity most people display in their daily lives. That can be a challenge, but it also allows me a unique perspective on the world. And to me, it is evident that the war your father started has done more than simply given birth to the purity of light. It was the first pebble in what will soon become an avalanche.
You're talking about the Bloodburn?
Among other things, yes. But as I said, there is more to it. All this, your journey, your role in what Rondar Lacane believes to be a vision sent by Aenir. It is only the beginning. But let us continue this discussion when I can give you more than vague semi-prophetic statements.
All right. We'll talk later.
Why? When?
When something comes up. I'll go prepare for our next mission now.
Understood.
This dude is pretty cool.
Yes? What is it?
So, let's see. Where did you grow up?
Where did you grow up?
Let's get a bit
You
more
don't look
backstory.
Northandian.
I do not. That is correct. I grew up in Imperia.
Imperia? That's a long way from here.
I know, but I hardly have any memories. My parents fled from the Civil War and set over to Northander when I was only 4 years old.
So you were refugees?
But aren't you supposed to remember stuff of that age?
Yes, much like many Northandians are now. We lived in the Utran lands, and my parents are still there.
Interesting. Now, what's it like to live in Northander as an Empyrean?
What's it like to live in Northander as an Empyrean?
Well, it was my impression that Utran people are by nature a lot more skeptical towards outsiders than, for example, the citizens of Everlight. All in all, however, I cannot complain. Both my father and my mother found work quite quickly, and thanks to my occupation as first scholar of the Creators Guild, they now live a quite comfortable life.
Well done. Well done. And when did you discover your magic?
And when did you discover your magic?
At a very early age. I believe I was 7 at that time. I must have had an outbreak, but I can hardly remember any of it. All I know is that my mother's employer, who was a mage himself, immediately took me in. I went to Everlight when I was 10, and did not leave there ever since. Until now.
And you're the first Empyrean I've met, though.
Interesting. You're the first Empyrean I've met.
I'm not surprised.
Not that many. You wield both white and black magic. How?
I've noticed that you use both white and black magic in combat. I've never seen anyone do that before. Don't the two schools exclude each other?
Well, no. We also have the ability to do so.
Normally, yes. The essence of white and of black magic deeply oppose each other. Trying to combine both of them usually has a similar effect on a mage's mind as adding water onto a patch of burning oil.
Oh, maybe he's talking about his special tree, the pseudo, whatever it's called, tree, paradox magic.
I, however, never had that problem. The first time I found out was at the Arcane University in Greyfell, where I studied. The white magic spell I had cast on a rabbit to heal his wounded paw accidentally killed it. I was very young at that time, and I knew my professor would be upset if he found out, so I channeled my energy on undoing what I had done. As a result, I created an undead rabbit. It immediately went feral, and I put it back to sleep. But rather than feeling the terrible headache that had been described to us as an effect of combining these two schools, I felt a slight sense of, well, exhilaration. I secretly continued these experiments during my studies, and found out that whatever it is that causes this mental discord among normal mages did not affect me.
Interesting. So it might be connected to his emotional state.
Do you have an explanation for this?
No, I do not. Maybe it has to do with the way my mind is structured, or maybe it is a simple coincidence.
Well,
maybe
that's
both.
all.
A coincidence that happens to be connected to his mind.
Goodbye.
So, very interesting. Very interesting. And where do we go next? Into the Nexus, of course. Also, do I have some more goblin meat, just in case? I have some documents, some keys, some quest items. Do I see meat? Goblin meat. 18 goblin meat. That is a lot. That really is a lot. No, I just have to exit this place somewhere. What was the exit? Somewhere. Bollocks. How do I get to this one here? Like there was an entrance / exit somewhere in the bottom-ish area also. I just can't find it anymore. Yeah, it was here, right? It must have been over at this part, or I don't know, somewhere else. How do I get back to this goblin? Maybe I have to enter the Mulandir area from the outside, from Farlon's Hope, or whatever it was called. Alrighty, let's go to the wind wall. Let's go into the Nexus and talk to Isgrimm and Yria.
Understood.
Understood. So, do I see anything else that is special? There. That's Yria. No, well, oh, there's a bed. There are multiple objects in here. Very interesting. What about the rest? Can I interact with anything else there? There might be a few things to interact with here. Nope. No, that stuff. What about this one? We don't know what this is. The secret of the Shapers. Discuss your next step in the war table to advance in the main story. Yes. Okay. That's something I can skip because I'm gonna go down the stairs and talk to Isgrimm. But what is this? Okay. It looks like I can kind of interact with it somehow, but also not. Why can I interact with beds but don't get a response from it?
Tahar? I guess I still owe you an explanation, don't I? About that bandit in Farland's Hope?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you?
I do. First off, I'm not angry that you stopped me. From your perspective, or anyone's, it was probably the right thing to do.
That's good to hear.
Kind of depends, but yeah, it's just that I don't want the people to be too hateful.
Yes, but it doesn't mean I regret what I've done or what I was about to do. About 5 years ago, something happened. I was on the road and the sun had just started to set, and I was closing in on the village where I had planned to spend the night. It was a beautiful day, really. The sky was clear, the stars were coming out, and the crickets were chirping. Just 1 mile before the village gates, I saw a woman and her son. Or at least I thought he was. They were surrounded by 2 men and a woman, who were pushing her around, tearing her clothes off. She was weeping, begging them for mercy, and her son, who probably didn't realize what was happening, was holding her leg and crying. That woman's screams were horrible. What I remember even more was the crying of that poor boy. They were the tears of a soul who, up to that point, had still thought life was all about beauty, about love, and who had now awoken to reality. Long story short, I didn't help. I just stood there, watching it all through the thickets, like some grotesque play. When they were done, they kicked the woman into a pit on the roadside and took the boy with them.
Dude. Okay, first question. Well, she was... In these kind of situations, you basically just freeze. It's also a similar thing that happens if you have to react in a situation where there is like life and death actions happening, or decisions to be made. Like, people are usually not used to this, so either they react really quickly without any thinking, or they just freeze. They usually can't think through their decisions because it just doesn't work. Your mind is just completely poof. gone, basically. You go down into fight and flight response. In this case, it's more like flight or nothing at all. It's basically the third solution. Fight, flight, or stand still. And something similar happens with cats. If you corner them, if you corner them and they don't know if they should fight or run away, then they should just sit down and clean themselves. It's kind of an interesting thing. Alright, what was this other example that I was thinking about? The train dilemma, where there's a train on tracks and there's a fork in the road, and you can kind of decide if it goes either to the right or to the left side, either killing many or just one person or fewer or whatever. In this case, it's just a question of how many people do you want to have killed by the train, and you can't stop the train, and the only thing that you can do is basically decide if it goes either the one way or the other. And for the most part, people would maybe say they would choose the one with less lives getting killed, but for the most part, people would just not do anything. When this happens, they just completely freeze, because this is a decision that they are not used to doing, really, or for having. And that's just where the mind stops. It's very interesting. Why didn't you help?
Why didn't you help?
I've been asking myself the same thing ever since. In the end, I think it was plain cowardice. Then again, if life taught me something, then it's that only in the books that people make the right calls when push comes to shove. Sure, there are exceptions, but most of us just stand by and watch.
And that was why you tortured the bandit?
And that was why you tortured the bandit?
I guess. That woman the bandit in Farland's Hope killed. I don't know, but something about her reminded me of that summer night. And yeah, I know, it was a stupid thing to do. Stupid and above all, pointless. Making that bandit suffer didn't help anyone. Neither the woman he had tortured to death, nor the one on the road, or her little boy. I just couldn't help it. It was as if some dark part of my mind had taken over.
Yeah, maybe it was your way of atoning.
Maybe it was your way of atoning for not helping that woman.
Atoning? Such a big word. I don't know. Either way, anything else you need? If not, I'd like to have some time on my own. There's a lot that's been going through my mind lately. Corporal? Need anything?
Tell me about your time on the road. Ah, there we go.
Tell me a bit about your time on the road. What was it like?
Is that a command, Corporal?
Please.
Please?
All right, but I'm afraid there isn't so much to tell. Have you ever been on the road by yourself?
A long time ago.
A long time ago, yes.
Well, then you know how wearisome it can get. Sleeping under the stars sounds romantic at first, until you realize that most of the time it's sleeping in the mud in drizzle. Most of the time, your stomach and your purse are empty, and your feet are full of blisters. And, of course, there's the constant danger. Especially if you're traveling on your own.
But in this case, yeah, constant danger. There's constant danger if people are dangerous, right? This is also something that has changed over the past years. Not just one or two, but hundreds of years. People are getting better. Slowly, but they are getting better. They're kind of evolving. They're getting more civilized. Did you ever have a companion?
Did you ever have a companion?
Some, yeah, but most of it was just temporary. Though there was one I traveled with for longer. Quentin.
How did you meet?
Coincidence. A small town between Finn and Mir and Lar. We played dice together and he cheated. When I called him out on it, he tried to turn tail. But one of the other guests stopped him for me. They wanted to go give him a beating, but I told them to stop. He gave me back my money and we started talking. And, believe it or not, we found that we got along quite well.
So you started traveling together with a thief?
I wouldn't call him that. He was just young and careless. We ended up traveling for almost a year.
I see. What was your relationship?
I see. What was your relationship?
I see. Oh.
You mean... no, we were just friends. He was way too young for my liking, and I think I was too old for him. We were more like sister and brother.
Oh, no. Wrong answer. What was his story?
What was his story? Where was he headed?
Into the blue, same as me. He had quite an interesting task, but I wouldn't feel comfortable sharing it with you, to be honest. He wouldn't want that.
Okay. How did you split up then?
Huh. So, how did you split up? What happened?
Nothing dramatic. We came by a village and decided to rest there for a while. The roads had become quite dangerous due to the mage wars, and we didn't want to go out unprepared. I did some healing for the villagers, and he helped out the local smith. He liked it, and the smith wanted him as an apprentice, so he stayed. I was surprised and a bit hurt at first, but then I realized it was probably for the better. I still think of him sometimes, though.
Maybe I know that dude too. Who knows? How did you make a living?
Huh. And how did you make a living?
If you're not thieving around.
That was the easiest part. I healed people.
Oh, for money. That's perfect.
With light magic?
Yes and no. It was my magic that mended the wounds, but since mages are often met with suspicion, how shall I say, got a little creative. Frankly put, whenever I treated someone, I gave him a magical potion to drink, which was just water mixed with some harmless herb to give it color. The rest was laying on hands to help the potion's effect, which was pure light magic and how I did the actual healing.
And that worked?
Better than you'd think. People were fighting over my panacea as if I was Ellen incarnate, while cursing the evil defilers who had caused this war. Ironic, isn't it?
Do you miss it sometimes?
Do you miss it sometimes? The vagabond life?
Well, we're still vagabonds somehow, aren't we?
Ah, that's
but
correct.
I know what you mean. And yeah, I sometimes do. The wind on my skin, the vastness of the wildlands, and the fact that all you have to think about is the mile ahead of you. It's another world. There was this one night I'll never forget. I had made a camp at a clearing, set up campfire, and I was leaning against a tree, slowly drifting toward sleep. Then, all of a sudden, it started to rain. Not just the usual drizzle, it was bucketing down, drowning everything, the earth, the noise, the plants around me. My first impulse was to jump up, to find shelter, get my things into the dry. But I didn't. Instead, I saw. I don't know how else to put it. All of a sudden, there was this deep sense of peace. As if all my life I had been chasing something without knowing it myself. And in that moment had found it. So I just watched. I sat there and I watched. That feeling lasted until the sun came up. And then I fell asleep. When I woke up, it was gone.
And she had a huge cold. Sounds beautiful.
Sounds beautiful.
And a bit traumatic. But yeah, it was beautiful. I've never felt something like that again.
And what do you make of it now?
Truth be told, I don't know. But it changed something. Even though I cannot say what it is.
Okay, wait a minute. We can talk to her more about
Tell me a
that?
bit about your time on the road.
Is that a command, Corporal?
Yeah, please.
All right. But I'm afraid there isn't so much to... Well, sleeping most of the time, your stomach and your purse are empty, and your... Well, that feeling lasted until... Truth be told, I don't know.
Okay, goodbye. 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 Bye. Good. Goodbye. Goodbye. Also, there is supposed to be a trader in Fallen's Hope, I think. And this trader can only be triggered or obtained if you save them while the Orc invasion takes place. And the trader is somewhere in the middle, a little bit north-ish of the map. And once, you triggered that, you can continue with the refugees and go further towards Everlight. But the thing is, I already went through the whole map and didn't see anything suspicious. And then all of a sudden, I figured out that, some people just changed their location, and this, attack of the orcs triggered that. And I just didn't think of anything like that happening in the game. So you really have to be extra cautious when you continue on a map also. So try to explore everything every time, and in between every major change that's happening on the map. Major changes being you take control of an army or something like that. Not really talking to an NPC or so, but yeah, any major change where there's like a change in occupancy, or whoever is the aggressor or whatever, something like that. Maybe even forces changing, like you fighting one enemy, but then all of a sudden another one, or something like that. Really have to make sure to follow this rule myself, but yeah. Let's just hope that nothing like this will happen again. Because stuff like this is just so absolutely... no one thinks of that. And you try to make sure to explore everything beforehand. And then there's change happening, and then all of this preparation is just out the window. It's okay that it can happen, but it's just... You usually only notice this accidentally if you're just somewhere in the wilderness and stuff happens, but nah. Would you like to travel to the Nexus? Yes.
To this
the Nexus
day,
core.
The Shaper's magical and technological...
Why am I going back again? That was weird. So, Mulandir's core, we got remnants of old, echoes of the past. So it's basically the quests Isgrimm got me with all of the artifacts that can be obtained. Or artifact parts that have to be obtained. And of course, his backstory.
Interesting. Yeah, do you need something? I'm a tad busy.
Well, what is it that fascinates you about the Shapers?
What exactly is it that fascinates you about the Shapers?
Oh, Tahar, that's quite a topic. I don't mind sharing, but are you sure you want to go there?
Yeah, sure. And also as a second question, why do we try to figure out why he is interested in the Shapers? Like, Shapers are pretty damn powerful. And they, not only that, but they also use kind of a different type of magic altogether. So this in itself is pretty damn interesting. Tell me.
I am. Tell me.
All right. Well, where do I start?
Also, Hammer of the Smith. That will probably be the first one that we finish. And the last one may be the Great Axe of the Chieftain also. And all of the others are like some in-betweeny artifacts. What about this one here? Discarded Dwarven plate armor, adamantium slab, and Dwarven shoulder pads. Random stuff altogether. So... I can't give these items to him because I think I haven't even found them yet. You can only continue with this once you have the full... a full lot of this.
Tahar, may I help you with something?
Wait, what? Oh, wait.
What exactly?
Oh, Tahar, that's quite a topic.
I am, tell me.
Alright. Well, where do I start?
Oh, I clicked on his dialogue thingy and skipped the whole continue thing. So you can trigger the dialogue again if you click on the character itself and try to talk to them this way. And you kind of override the progress in the dialogue and you go back to the starting menu.
You see, the Shapers have always fascinated me. They're all over EO, these remnants of a once so glorious civilization. Yet for some reason, so many people are almost oblivious to it. On the one hand, of course, that's very sad. On the other hand, it also makes it a lot more exciting. It's like I'm a treasure hunter, only that everyone else fails to see the treasures around us. Tell me, Tahar, when seeing all of this, don't you sometimes feel like you're exploring a childhood dream? The kind of world the poets and the bards always spoke of?
If this is one of the same world, then no. That would be a bloody childhood dream, but sometimes yes, but I wouldn't really consider it a childhood dream.
Sometimes, yes. It's dark, but also fascinating.
Absolutely. But this childish fascination was only the spark. The more I studied the Shapers, the more enthralled I became with their culture.
Also the way he describes childish fascination. As if it's something that you grow out of. But actually, it's the sheer wonder that you feel if you notice something different, something interesting. And for the most part, people don't really see that stuff. They're getting blind to the things that surround them. Because there's an awful lot of stuff that's fascinating. But no one actually takes the time to look because they can't. People are just too damn busy these days.
Did you know that at the pinnacle of their existence, they ruled over all of Io? A global empire with no one to oppose them.
You seem to consider that a good thing.
Oh, good, bad, the world doesn't work like that. Of course, there are writings that hint at the fact that the Shaper Empire wasn't all rainbows and unicorns, but still it was stable.
Anyway, if someone has power over an empire, well, sometimes there's force involved.
And it persisted for tens of thousands of years. Can you imagine? All this knowledge, all this art, all this wisdom. Nothing in the EO of today can match that. Nothing. It's like comparing a sea full of secrets with a puddle of muddy water.
Well, depends, really. Only if you know all of it, then you can compare it. But as long as you don't know how much information they have or how they even used it, then you can't really say much at all. Also, if it's just some stories that people tell about the Shapers, then you can't really say if it's true or not. Because what if they just exaggerated a little bit here and there? How do you know all of this?
How do you know all this?
Some of it from writings, some of it's just connecting the dots. I know how many scholars are out there at the universities giving their talks about the inscrutable empire, but it's not nearly as inscrutable as they say. Their problem is they're trying to understand the Shapers by reading books and dusty tablets. That's not how it works. You need to get out there, into the field. And even if it takes years of fruitless digging, eventually you're bound to stumble onto something.
But this is just pure luck, basically. Eventually. Very hopeful way of thinking about it.
Another piece of the mosaic.
Very poetic.
Because it is.
To the ones that find it. Didn't the Shapers use slaves? Well, in this case, what is a slave, right? A slave is a thing or person, but let's just say a thing, in order to be very general about it. A slave is a thing that does the stuff that you want it to do. So a slave can be a robot, a slave can be a person, a slave can be a machine. Well, I said robot already, but yeah, a robot is a bit of a humanoid machine. So, very interesting. Also, slaves can be exchanged with other things, really. Like the act of doing can be mechanized, but in another way, you can also see them as fuel for a system. So, in one way you need food to fuel the slaves, and if it's a machine that needs to be driven, you also need some kind of fuel or food, machine food, which is usually some oils, some heavy oils like diesel and whatnot. Didn't the Shapers use slaves?
My father always told me the Shaper Empire relied a lot on slaves.
What? No, that's rubbish. The Shapers had castes, yes, and it's probably the lower castes your father was referring to.
Doesn't change anything.
But to call these slaves is like calling, say, a tanner who was born outside a royal family a slave, just because he'll never be a king.
Very interesting way of thinking about it. But yeah, in this case, you're only a slave if you are bound in the system, right? Yeah. The whole being bound thing makes you a slave. It's not your position in it, but it's the actual relation.
And even the very lowest caste, the Zalanyur, always had enough to eat, a roof over their heads, and could, without paying a single coin, get themselves healed by a cleric if they needed to.
Sounds... Wait a minute. Didn't we say this kind of works Zalanyur once we try to enter the ruin? I don't know. Kind of sounds familiar. Salam. Whatever. It's like food stamps, basically. What is it? Food stamps and unemployment pay or something like that. And the general, health security. Perfect.
So if you think that's unjust, go ahead. Ask an Everlight beggar which era he'd rather live in. He's not a slave, yes, but in some ways he's worse off.
In this case, the benefits are missing, yes. So, how did their empire come to be then?
And how exactly did their empire come to be? They must have conquered quite a few nations.
And also, if the Shapers were that powerful, who were their enemies?
They had the liberty of being the first living civilization on our EO, at least as far as we know. That made it easier to maintain peace and stability. Until the end and the dragons.
And yet they died out.
And yet they died out.
Either died or they vanished. Two different things with similar outcomes, really.
Yeah. Great mystery.
Maybe they just uploaded their minds to the Matrix.
Most scholars think it was the dragons.
They do, but I doubt it. You saw what the Shapers were capable of. Even a race as powerful as the dragons couldn't have wiped them out. And you see the shape the city is in, Tahar. There's no traces of fire and destruction.
Well... what if the whole fiery and destruction part has already disappeared?
But regardless of what it was, it doesn't change the fact that the way the current races of this world treat the Shapers is nothing short of pathetic. They were greater than we'll ever be. But instead of studying this greatness, we ignore them. And why? Just because it doesn't fit into our religion, our traditions, or whatever reason they can come up with. Because to many, admitting what a marvel the Shapers truly were would mean admitting that our culture is pale in comparison.
And you don't want that, because it gets rid of a certain drive. Is our world really that bad?
Is our world really that bad?
That depends on your expectations. We could do worse, certainly, but if this is as good as we can get, then I have nothing to feel but pity.
It all remains to be seen. I agree. We should learn from the Shapers. He is definitely idealizing, but we should definitely learn from them.
Maybe you're right. There's a lot we could learn from the Shapers.
There is. In any case, I suppose you found your answer, haven't you? This is what fascinates me about the Shapers. They're a reminder of what we could be, if only we wanted to.
I see. Well, thanks for the explanation, Isgrimm. I appreciate it.
Wait a minute, didn't he always say I see after they finished their little dialogue? Great.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Okay, so there's nothing else to be done down here? Okay. All of it pretty much done. Nice. No level up, no anything. Like, I talk to them, nothing happens, and this experience bar is just filling, and I'm like at 99.99999%. Yeah, it seems to be pretty high. Only thing I need to do is like... yeah, continue with the main mission. This one here. How many other missions do I have? Like I have a wind wall, remnants? Power hungry is the goblin one. Then there's corruption. Okay, this must be the elf stuff, right? Advance in the main mission. Sure. This is people things, world within. Okay. Why do I not see anything orc related? That's weird. Oh, meet with Qirr. That must be the one. You decided to travel to Parker Qirr and ask for the orc support. Yeah. So there's power struggle and the corruption, and in this case, corruption will be one of the next missions. Also, can I finally? Yes. See the progress tab, and we have, of course, humans in the center, and then probably elves and orcs to the left and to the right, depending on which way. So there are multiple different types to unlock here. There's enhanced damage on the top. There is reinforcement down there. Improves the human recruit unit by enhancing its health points. This one has 2 arrows. This one also has 2 arrows. There seems to be always the same amount of arrows there, is it? That's weird. And then there's research. Your human workers carry more resource at once. Better satchels. But don't I have to research it every time if I build the whole thing? I think so. Human recruits have more health. Oh, no, I get it. This is the... enhancing its health. Okay, so there's real reinforcement, like this one here. And then there is the research stuff that you can unlock. So this one you can unlock, but you have to research it all the time, multiple times. But this one here actually makes the unit slightly stronger because of the reinforcements. What did it do anyway? Improves the human recruit unit by enhancing, okay, more health points. And then we have, of course, the recruitment cost that can be lowered in the second tab, and then the damage that can be increased. And there are also a few interesting buildings that we have to get here. So there might be a third stage for the main building, like we get the town center, city center, or maybe, yeah. And of course you start with, I don't know what you start with. Maybe a normal outpost thingy. Human there are the outposts. So we got the scouting post, the first one, frontier post, outpost. Yeah, some logging cabinet, hunting cabinet, fishery, stoneworks, barracks, watchtowers, fortified towers. This is another tower. Iron mine, iron smelter, farm, forge. There's probably an area gathering thing and an area whatever utilizing thing. Like similar to the human forge. What was it, the forge? No, to the iron smelter. Like you have an iron mine and iron smelter. Therefore, you also have like area gathering and area putting into bottle kind of thing. And 2 others as well. Don't know what the other might be. Oh wait, what happens if you click on something? Nothing. Okay. You can just hover over it, and then you are supposed to get the information from it. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, wait a minute. Rohen. Here. So yeah, there's restore at the second, and there's this dude. In this case, where am I? Paradox is the first one. Difficult to choose the right order for the spells. But anyway, before we continue with the main mission, and in this case, discussing the shapers. Wait a minute. This is the main one, right? So what I have to do is get access to additional forces first, I think. Yeah, I think so. You have to get access to additional forces first. And once you do, you can continue with the main mission as well. And also, I think you don't even need to unlock all the races. Maybe you only need one that you like. And then you can just continue the game with one single race if you like to. But for some reason, it kind of feels weird. Whatever. I'm definitely going to the elves next. I'm going to skip the whole secret of the shaper kind of thingy. Because, yeah, that will probably be done afterwards. So, let's see. Let's quickly have a save. There is Nothing on the little map. World map. Yeah, do you want to change? I just want to have a little look on the world map real quick. See if there's any difference here. Of course, we've got Mulandir, Farland's Hope. That was the one. Nothing in there. Bargagor's the Orcs. Interestingly, Bargagor's right next to Mulandir. Maybe that's the reason why this Orc shaman dude, or shapeshifter, was that close by. Oh, it's kind of vials. Nah, leave shade. Yeah, the corruption. That would be the next one. Oh, that looks so beautiful. How far north can you go? Not that far. Kind of like the way the clouds are located around the mountains. It's pretty sweet. Like this, there's a certain three-dimensionality. Yeah, a certain dimensionality to this. And at the same time, it's just it just really looks cool. Okay, too bad you cannot get out of here, because this is not really a map thing. It is an actual area that you are in. It's like an in-between area. Very interesting. Whatever. The next one will be Leaf Shade. But before we do anything like that, we are going to end this little episode, which was more talking than anything else, really, and continue with another one at another time. Until then, like and subscribe. Ta-ta!